Hey, yo, what's going on? Peace, family. Um, so the title of the video is People Are Practically Unable to Shop at Dollar Tree. Um, Reason why is the excessive price increase throughout the majority of all the other merchandising companies and businesses. Some of the places of business that you once could shop at that majority of the country knows of are names like Walmart, Target, and so on. They all have increased their prices and have slowly pushed out the people that used to come to those businesses in order to save a few dollars or so. And it's very disturbing because, you know, people are very frustrated right now. If you go down, go through all of the timeline on YouTube, you see everybody, voicing their frustration and letting you guys know how it's affecting them. And I touched on these topics a few times in some of my previous videos where I shared experiences, not only for myself but for the people that are also sharing it as well. So at this point in time, you used to, like I said, could shop at Walmart and Target and be able to save a few dollars, but now you know the next alternative would be like a Dollar Tree or a Dollar General, and you can you know go there and start to save a few dollars. But at this point, you know you can't even go to the Dollar Tree and save a few dollars because everything is now like $5 and above. So it defeats the whole purpose of even having the business in the first place. um and it's like I said, it's very, very disturbing, man. It should be a eye opener for you guys. You know, this should be the last stand. You know what I mean? Because at this point, you're just being uh gentrified out of your communities, man. Your mom and pop businesses and stuff like that, they're no longer useful. What do they need them for? I just seen on on mainstream media that Hertz rental car is using Jeff Bezos Amazon as a dealer in order to sell cars through Amazon. So now you can buy a car through Amazon. So what do you need those local dealers, car dealers for? Amazon is gonna push out so much algorithm and business out throughout the source of that corporation. Is gonna be no need for them. You see what I'm saying? So it's like you guys just don't want to accept the fact that the oligarchs and the elites are running a train on everybody, running a train, having fun, enjoying it, laughing, snickering. You see it. When you pop on that late night news, because I know a lot of you guys watch that news. You guys watch those Fox 11 and Channel 5 and wherever you guys live. In different parts of the country. WGN, Chicago. You guys all watch that shit, and you see these motherfuckers up there, and they just, laughing and shaking hands and smiling and shit, and all of that, Putin and Zelensky and all of those motherfuckers, they all work together. The U.S. is the EU, and the EU is the U.S. So all it is, oh, we gonna say peace and we gonna, do this and we gonna do that. Man, like I said, worry about your own goddamn country and figure out why people can't go to a dollar store and leave out with, three or four bags full of things, but they can only leave out now with one bag full of things in a dollar store. Go and worry about that. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I'm really highly frustrated about that. And I was listening to another content creator, and he really articulates and expressed the situation that we're in. He's been able to leave the country to go and start a new life with his family over in a different country, and also shares the problems that he have there, but at the same time still understand what we go through here in the United States. And I'm definitely, like I said, at the point, man, where strategically, I'm working behind the scenes, man. I'm trying to, I have ideas that could help, the average, man and woman, you know, hitting the oligarchs and the elites right where it hurts. I have ideas, man, and like I said, I'm gonna share those, and I'm gonna give one before I get off. So if you want to stay to the end of the video, you can hear what I got to say. But for the most part, you know, also I seen a picture. If you guys go to my latest post, I have a, a screenshot of a bunch of uh, digital ledgers, or yeah, a bunch of digital representations of purchases and stuff like that. And those purchases are reflections of Donald Trump's purchases as he's in office, because um, they're required to show their purchases while they're in office. And those numbers that you guys see if you go to my post is that those are the purchases that he's making on a personal basis, right? So he's going around and he's buying a bunch of municipal bonds, right? And if you guys don't know what bonds is something that you can buy in favor of being able to pay it back. It's kind of like a loan. And as he's holding these bonds, he's being able to receive uh, returns up between 1 to 5% on that initial municipal bond. So each one of those, if you guys read and go down the line through each one of those on my post, you can see that, man, he's got a shit ton of municipal bonds, right? 15,000 all the way up to 100,000, and you know being able to get a return off $100,000 at 1 or 2 or 3%, you know, I mean, that shit stacks up over time, right? Now, but what we all know is that Trump is already a multi-billionaire. So that goes to show you that these guys are just built off of greed. They could care less about what you think. They could care less about the dollar crashing. They could care less about, you needing groceries. You're short. You know, they could care less that you work 3 or 4 jobs. And that just goes to show you right there. I always provide facts when I'm talking about something. I don't just be blowing smoke, man. Like I got the real shit. While you guys are being distracted by sports, entertainment, trials, and people dancing and shit online for like 2 seconds, and you scroll and you watch another one, you scroll and you watch another one. I'm behind the scenes, man. I'm trying to figure out and come up with strategies to help uh the country, because it's a piece of shit right now. You know what I'm saying? So I said, like, why he's stacking up and he's building all of this this additional wealth for his family. Everybody else is don't have a pot to piss in. That's why I said there's a disproportional wealth gap. There's the 1%, and then there's the 99%. There's no middle class. And as long as they keep doing the shit that they're doing the way they're doing it, the gap is going to continue to widen to the point of no return. Okay. So I provide the facts, man, all the time. But check this out. So here's one of my ideas, and I'm gonna create a group where you can join in and share ideas as well, and and stuff like that, and we can all utilize this, build a large community. That's what I'm doing. I'm getting my subscribership up, so that way we can really take it to the oligarchs and the elites, because there's power in numbers. So my idea that I like to share today is that you guys, the majority of you guys uh you are all loyal bankers, or clients of major banks like Chase. What is another one? Chase, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, all of the con artists. You guys are major clients. Okay, clients, customers, whatever you call it. Now, these guys take advantage of you guys. They steal your money. while it's inside of your account, and it looks like that you got it in there, but they're really using it in order to fund other investments that do not benefit you. Um, they have monthly fees that they charge people that decide that they don't want to give them their checks. So they charge you a monthly fee in order to have an account, which they shouldn't have to do because they don't need that, but they do it. Um, you have to get permission in order to get a certain amount of money out. You may have to wait until they're ready to give it to you. You guys don't think about none of this shit. You just let things fly over your head, and you like to combat with the people that are trying to come up with a solution. Okay, so what I'm saying is that you guys are going to have to slowly disengage from these major banking companies, because without your blood source, they're nothing. They're nothing but a song and a dance. So you guys are gonna have to slowly disengage. And if for some of you that are more strongly felt of this message, you just want to disengage, there's many ways. There's other alternatives. There's other avenues. So you're gonna have to disengage from these guys. You can't continue to give these banks your business because they're just taking advantage of you, and they're working with all the oligarchs and elites. That's who they are. That's who they are. They're never gonna change. This goes back into ancient times, man. They've all been the same shit. They've all done the same shit for as long as you can remember. So you're gonna have to slowly disengage from these Chase banks, these Wells Fargo banks, these Bank of Americas. You're gonna have to disengage, man. They got your local credit unions. You can get a local credit union, right? You can you can get a local credit union. You can put everything in Bitcoin. You could disengage and do mobile banking if that's the best case scenario. Yeah, it's not fully disengaging from the larger banking system, but it's still a start. It's a change, and you guys at some point need to change. You guys are scared of change because they got you so programmed into this system that you figure that there's no other way, and there are ways. When you start coming up with ideas, when you start getting together with people that wanna fight for their freedom, then there are ways. So I'm saying credit union, Bitcoin, your own crypto, uh, and like I said, worst case scenario, mobile banking. But for you to continue to give all of your blood, sweat, and tears to these Chase banks and these Wells Fargo banks that don't give a shit about you, and continue to take your damn money and use your money without your permission, and then tell you some other type of shit to make it seem like it's okay, piss on your head and tell you that it's raining. If you're okay with that, then you're a part of the problem, and you can go ahead and stay on that side. But if you guys are hearing what I'm saying and you understanding what I'm saying, you keep rocking with me, and I'm gonna share some more ideas. But like I said, that's one to start. All right, so that's all I got for you guys. If you're new to the channel, like and subscribe. Where I provide the most genuine information, and I provide facts to back that up. This is a small channel, but we plan on doing big things. And remember, the truth is in session. Truth. Peace.